Hey everyone, it's Shelby. Welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you all are here. Today I actually have a recommendation video for you. So I thought I would do, couldn't think of like a better way to describe this than like first responders. So like firefighter, police officer type romances. So let's get into the video. Yeah, so I recently read, I think a couple books like right in a row that featured firefighters, and I just wanted to pop into a recommendation video for those type of like tropes, I guess. I don't know if it's necessarily a trope, but like a feature in like romance books. I don't do a whole lot of recommendation videos, but I'm hoping that I can start doing some more of those. So I have a list of, I think, 6 books. Like I said, the only best way that I could describe this and title this video would just be like first responders. Firefighters and police officers are the 2 that I have. I know like EMTs are considered first responders too, but I haven't really read any romances that feature somebody in that profession. So we're just gonna stick with the firefighter, fireman, and the police. So we'll start with the one that I read most recently, and I don't have any of these books on physical copies. I think I read most of these either audiobook or on my Kindle, so I'll put up like their picture like up here. So the first one is going to be That Second Chance by Meghan Quinn. This I listened to on audiobook, and this is such a cute romance. So this is about this guy. He and his brothers go to New Orleans for their youngest brother. He just turned 21, so they're just kind of like going all out, getting drunk in New Orleans, and they stumble across this like fortune teller, and they like break her table where she does her job, and she's kind of ticked off about it. So she like curses them that they will have bad luck when it comes to love. So our main hero, Griffin, he's the oldest brother, and he's like, oh yeah, whatever. So then they go back home, and he's married, but then his wife dies like a couple days later, like very suddenly. So that's kind of how this book starts out. And then 3 years later, our heroine is coming into town, and she is wanting to like start a new life, just kind of do her own thing. She was in a car wreck in the past, and she wants to prove to herself that she can move away from her parents and be independent. So how they end up meeting is, as she's driving into town, she gets in the car wreck again because she swerves to miss a moose that comes across the road. And so she crashes. She's not like seriously injured or anything, but he is the first responder that comes and saves her, and they just kind of start this little romance, and it's really cute. If you like small town romances, this is definitely up your alley. It takes place in this town called Port Snow, and it's in Maine, and it's one of those things where everybody in the town knows everybody, and gossip is all around. I think their newspaper, pretty sure it's the newspaper, is honestly more, instead of just news, it's more of like a gossip magazine where it talks about what's going on with people in the town. And then Griffin, his family owns a like sweet shop where his dad makes all kinds of fudge, so they all kind of like have to chip in every once in a while and help out their shop. And it's so cute. I really liked this one. It was really good. The next one that I have to recommend is going to be Hiro by Rowe. This is the first book in a series. So the last one was also a first book in a series. So anyway, this one is another series, and I read this like right before this other one. It was one of those where it was just kind of back to back, and I was just like, okay. So this is about Colby, and he is a firefighter. And then it's also about Lydia, who is a physical therapist. So this book starts out like really hard-hitting and gut-wrenching. It's about Lydia gets a call because her husband is a police officer and he was shot on the job. So she goes to the hospital and he's just on life support, and he ends up dying, and it's like gut-wrenching. It was so sad. So then again, it's kind of like the last one. It fast forwards a few years, and Colby is a firefighter, and he takes this job where he goes to like this fire, and there's like a little like baby like in the house of where this fire is. So he goes in and tries to rescue this baby, and in the process he gets really hurt, gets burned, and I think he like falls out a window, I think, and like breaks several bones. So then he's in the hospital, and Lydia, who is a physical therapist at this hospital, is tasked with like, he's her patient basically, to like rehabilitate him from this, you know, thing that happened. This was so good. I cried so much during this book. So, you know, there's those various kind of trigger warnings that I just kind of said, so beware of those. But this was just so good. He really cared about Lydia, and the thing with, she already has some kids from her marriage. So a part of this romance isn't just their romance, it's Colby kind of interacting with her children too, and kind of warming them up to him, because he's like, that's how she was a little bit apprehensive at first with, you know, having a relationship with him, because she's like, it's not just me, it's my kids too. So this was just so good. I loved this so much. I am so sad that it took me so long to read this book. The rest of the family sound like it's just a great family, and they're so much banter and joking around. So this was just so good, and I highly recommend it. Next one that I'm going to talk about is actually about police officers. So this is going to be Misadventures in Blue by Simone. This is more like novella length. It's a little bit shorter, and there's like a whole series, like Misadventure series by like different authors, kind of pick up different kinds of tropes. So this one is about this, this is a like age gap romance, but it's a older woman, younger man kind of romance. So this is about this woman, and she's like a senior detective, I think, on the police force in this area, and she gets assigned this, I think it's like a burglary case. And then the hero of this story is like a rookie cop, and he's really young, and he's kind of cocky and arrogant, and he has the hots for this woman, but she doesn't want to get in a relationship because her former, like her fiance, was also a police officer, and he got, I think he got killed on the job, something along those lines. I know he died. So she's like, I don't want to date police officers. I went through that before and it was terrible. But he just like weasels his way in, and it's really good. And if you've ever read any Simone books, it's really steamy as well. So if you're wanting more of like a steamy cop kind of romance, especially with like an older woman, younger man trope, this one's definitely for you. Okay, the next one that I have to recommend is called The Night is Darkest by Jayne Rylon. I think that's how you say her name. This is another like cop kind of romance. This is about this girl, I think her name is Lacey, and her brother is a cop, and he gets killed. It's kind of a theme, I feel like, with all of these like cop romances or first responder romances, is that they get killed in the line of duty. So he gets killed, and his like partners, who are also his like best friends, there's two of them, like tell her, but then they think that there's some sort of like mystery going on with how he died, and like she ends up being like in danger, so they have to stick around her to like protect her from this danger. And in the meantime, since they were best friends with her brother, they've like known her for a while, and both of them have always like had the hots for her and been really attracted to her. So of course they end up having like a menage, like the three of them, like they both get in a relationship with her while they're trying to protect her. And then I'm pretty sure that I've read this a little bit further back, but I'm pretty sure that the two guys end up having sexual like relationships together too. So all three of them kind of get together. So this was really good. I enjoyed this one. Again, this is a little bit more of a steamier read. And it's for, you know, if you are a fan of those like multiple people menage kind of romances, I think you would enjoy this one as well. This one that I have is another Sierra Simone book, and it's going to be Hot Cop by Sierra Simone. But she also wrote this with Laurelin Paige. They wrote it together. And I'm pretty sure she has some of these cop romances. I think I saw somewhere that her husband is a cop, so, you know. But this one is about this guy who's a cop and this girl who, I think she's a librarian, and they end up meeting one day because she has this like teenager that she kind of like looks out for. It's not one of those situations like she's like a foster parent or that kind of situation. It's just this girl, I think, comes to the library, so she just kind of forms her like friendship with this teenage girl, but she is kind of an activist and gets into a lot of trouble. So that's kind of how they meet, is she's trying to save this teenager from going to jail because he comes to take her to jail because she's disrupting the public, whatnot. And then they end up like going on a date, and she is actually wanting to have a baby. She's like, I think she's turning 30, and she doesn't have any like romantic prospects. So, and she really wants to have a kid and have a baby. So she kind of propositions him and is like, hey, you know, do you want to have my baby kind of thing? And he's just kind of like, okay, you know, whatever. This sounds like, you know, a good deal for me because I get some sex out of it. And he's like super attracted to her. So this one was such a ride. This was so good. And again, like I said, since it's a Sierra Simone is the author, she writes really steamy stories, but it was also really funny. And a lot of, if you're into like the cop kind of like trope, they do end up having there's a sex scene in the back of his cop car. So if you're into that, it's really good. And then the last one that I have to recommend is called Fired Up, and this is by Hart. This is a firefighter romance, and this is a male-male romance. This is about these two guys. The one is Ashton, and he's a football player, and then the other guy is Bo, and they knew each other, I think, in high school or college, one of those, and they were kind of sort of friends. I think Ashton likes to say that they were like best friends, but Bo just found him like really annoying. So they're kind of friends, sort of. So anyway, so Ashton's a football player, but he ends up coming back to his hometown because he did some like scandalous things with sleeping around with tons of people. So he just needs to like lay low for a little bit. So he comes back to his hometown, and like him and Bo haven't like seen each other in a while. He kind of like ran and hasn't come back home because Ashton ended up kissing Bo at, I think it was like at some party or something, and he like freaked out about it. And so he hasn't seen Beau since. So this, you know, them kissing was kind of a revelation for Beau, and he realized that he liked men. But Ashton has kind of like kept that on the down low. He hasn't like let himself like feel those kind of things. But now that he's back in town and seeing Beau all over the place. Beau is the firefighter, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. He works as a firefighter. There's a lot of like sexual tension between them and their cute like friendship, even though Beau is more of like curmudgeon-y and gets really annoyed with Ashton, but it's really cute. And then Beau also, I really like this aspect of it. Beau has a younger brother who, I don't know what he has. He has some sort of like mental disability, handicap. And Beau is like a coach for his younger brother's football team. It's like a team for like mentally handicapped people, and he's so cute. He's such a good big brother. I love him so much. I love his whole family, and I love how his family also loves and accepts Beau for being gay. They don't, you know, care about that. And then I also like that they totally are accepting of Ashton and just kind of bring him into their family. And it's also a steamy read, but it's also really cute and sweet. So I really enjoyed this book. I haven't read anything else in this series, but I probably need to because I really enjoyed this one. But yeah, so if you really like you know, LGBTQ, male kind of romances, I really think you enjoyed this one. So those are my recommendations for like first responder type romances. So hopefully I'll have some more recommendation kind of type videos coming soon. But anyway, so thanks for joining me in this video. If you liked it, make sure you hit that like button and then subscribe so you can kind of catch more videos from me. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye guys.